The most insane things found by airport security. You know what appointment the parents will never arrive late for? No, it's not the annual parent-teacher meeting, nor their annual checkup. It's their flight schedule. They always rush you to pack your bags even though it's only 4 a.m. and your flight is at 10 a.m. Am I right? So I guess, as advice, you should just pack your luggage a day before your schedule, or else you'd forget important things, or worse, bring some things that will make the eyes of the airport security wide in disbelief. This is Crystal Entertainment. If you want to keep track of the newly released episodes, click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Without further ado, let's go right into the video. We all know passengers and their luggage will have to undergo careful assessment by the airport security personnel, as well as their up-to-date metal detectors and x-ray machines before they can step into a plane. Then again, just as the famous quote said, if there's a will, there's a way. An Australian passenger on a flight from Dubai was stopped at Melbourne Airport when the airport security caught him sneaking 2 live baby pigeons. Huh, who would have thought? I guess pigeons in Melbourne are just way different compared to the pigeons from other places. But this passenger had smarts in his brain and thought of the screenings he'd have to go through in advance. So what he did was, he put the poor pigeons in each of his socks. And for extra precaution, he even wrapped them in a padded envelope. Poor birds. Customs officials searched the man after they discovered 2 eggs hidden in a vitamin container in his luggage. Can you imagine this man being told by security to pull down his underpants, expecting for the worst, only to be caught off guard when they saw the poor pigeons? If you thought sneaking in pigeons is ridiculous, then you're in for a big surprise, because there's more to come. There must have been something fishy about the way she walked, because security immediately stopped a woman who was supposed to fly to Singapore. The officers heard sloshing sounds coming from the skirt of this woman, and the skirt could never be more suspicious looking. It turns out she had 15 bags filled with live tropical fish hidden in a specially designed apron under her skirt. The species of fish was not immediately known, but customs officials warned they could carry diseases that could decimate Australian fish if they escaped into local rivers. As a result of her poor attempt of smuggling fish, the officers will charge the woman once they establish what species the fish are. If convicted of smuggling wildlife, she faces a fine of up to $83,617 and could also get a prison sentence of up to 10 years. Up next, a baby was smuggled in a bag. Back in the year 2012, there was an Egyptian couple who arrived at Sharjah International Airport in Egypt without the correct immigration papers. The security told them that they would be held in the airport for a few days, and for some reason, they thought of risking their chances by putting their child in a bag. If it's possible for a desperate parent to place their baby in a bag, it will not be hard to convince you that some people also hide creepy crawling creatures in their bag. Upon opening a passenger's suitcase, security officers in Amsterdam's Schiphol Airport were frightened when they found plastic tubes filled with a selection of insects. If you want to work in the aviation field, it's best to prepare yourselves for the unexpected. Oh, and treat your fear of insects while you're at it, because you might experience seeing millipedes, crickets, grasshoppers, as well as 200 live tarantulas that were carelessly stuffed into clothing, just as these securities did. Eesh, tarantulas? I for sure become paralyzed if I happen to be in contact with their hairy legs. But our guy right here did a more goosebump-inducing act when he hid 7 snakes and a number of turtles in his pants. In 2011, an incident at Miami International Airport made the onlookers' eyes bulge out in shock when a man was stopped after he passed through a security checkpoint. 7 exotic snakes and 3 turtles were found in his pants. The passenger was arrested, and fortunately, the reptiles were taken to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. But I just don't get why putting snakes in your pants is a good idea. Human minds are truly complex. We can applaud the previous passengers for their creative ways of hiding their smuggled goods. This time, however, let's applaud once more for this teenager's dumb decision during his flight. A 15-year-old teenager probably thought that bringing an alarm clock shaped like 7 bundled sticks of dynamite, complete with protruding wires and a countdown timer, to Toronto Pearson International Airport was a good idea, which it's not, obviously. The clock was packed into his carry-on bag, and you can probably guess what happened next. Since it was designed like a real explosive device, evacuation and flight delays occurred. Police were even called in at the airport to investigate. The crazy idea of his caused a bad record of mischief on his name. This is why I told you preparing your luggage a day before is important. And here's a pro tip. You probably want to avoid packing anything that's described as dangerous or scary, unless you want to appear in your own international news story. You might want to sip a mouthful of water because the following smuggled items are honestly quite disturbing. In 2007, securities from London Stansted Airport found human remains from a passenger's luggage. What they found? 10 human eyeballs hidden in jam jars. Did they see it coming? Nope. Okay, that's one bad pun, but on a serious note, what would anyone do with 10 human eyeballs? Take a guess. Did someone say more? Here's another sinister entry. It sounds impossible that you could bring 18 severed human heads with the skin still attached on them and be able to go through airport security. But hear me out, an incident at Chicago O'Hare International Airport in 2013 investigated unattended 18 human heads. Then again, why would someone bring 18 heads to a crowded airport and leave them be? To creep people out? Foul move, bro. Anyway, after the investigation, the heads turned out to be legitimate medical specimens, and they were allowed to continue on their journey. Woohoo! You reached the end of today's episode. How about you? What were your memorable airport moments? Comment down below. If you enjoy this video, share it to friends and family for a good laugh. Don't forget to leave us a like and do subscribe. You can click this thumbnail for another round of entertainment. 10 insane houses you won't believe exist.